Marvin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Welcome. You are watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Remember, this is a new truncated week which will also mark the monthly FNO series expiry for November. Remember, some volatility, not just because of the monthly expiry, but also due to the countdown to the state election results, which will be reported on Sunday, December 3rd. Could be in the offing in this entire week. So how will the markets be trading? Where all do you need to keep your focus? We'll tell you everything. But first up, the top headlines this hour. India's Nifty is likely to trade in a narrow sideways band on Tuesday as the market awaits results for elections held in 5 states. Traders will focus their energies on cash counters, offering higher volatility and better intraday returns. PSUs, especially government-owned insurers, railways and metals and energy stocks are likely to remain as the top long-side bets for traders today as they aggressively buy into relatively cheaper valuations of PSUs versus their private peers. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning to you, Shail, as well. Great to have you join in from the financial capital of India. There's a slight chill in Delhi because of the overnight rains that we've seen. How's the weather there?
A very warm good morning to you, Sakshi, and a very warm welcome to thousands of viewers who are joining us on a very regular basis on Market Today. Yes, I'm in Mumbai. And the weather here, Sakshi, is equally good as it is in Delhi. Both the main cities have had a shower over the weekend, and the air is cleaner in Mumbai as well as Delhi, I am told. Your weather is a bit colder than ours, but there is a lot of enthusiasm on the Lal Street. I was over the weekend in Mumbai, and I met a lot of very, very bullish people in a particular event. So the sentiment across the Lal Street seems to be favoring cash stocks, as you very rightly said. And of course, the Nifty is caught in a cleft. We've had a truncated week. Yesterday was a wonderful holiday. And we have the FNO expiry coming up on Thursday for the month of November, which has been fabulous for the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty. Of course, the mid caps and the small caps have taken it away. So that's the broader theme as far as the index is concerned, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Now, Shail, as far as the Nifty is concerned, it's already rallied about 950 odd points this series, even though it has been stuck in a 200-point range in the last 2 weeks. So what is your expectation for the Nifty as far as this week is concerned?
So Sakshi, let's just get the broad things right in place. We've had a fantastic previous week. 5 IPOs collectively took out 3.27 lakh crore rupees from the system. So liquidity is stuck there. So, and the fact that, as you very rightly mentioned, that 5 state elections will have their results coming in early next week. Of course, the exit poll will come in much earlier, I think on November 30th, which is also the weekend. So we'll possibly look at a sideways to flat move on the Nifty. Nobody wants to get into a situation when you are caught on the wrong side as far as the election results are concerned into the main indices. Therefore, the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are likely to be in a sideways zone. The fact that money will come back from the IPOs on subsequent Monday, the one that's coming 6 days later, that is the time when, of course, there will be a lot of clarity on how election results are likely to pan out, and that is when the Nifty is likely to break out. My understanding is that 19,800, given the strong options support that you see on the index in the options chain, is a very, very strong support level. And a lot of sectors are coming to help that out. We've seen a very strong move coming in pharma. The pharma index is at a record high. Therefore, Cipla and Divi's Lab are looking good. We've seen a very, very strong traction coming in auto stocks. All three two-wheeler stocks, Bajaj, Eicher and TVS Motors are at record high. Hero Motors is also following suit. Strong traction is seen in Maruti, Mahindra and Mahindra and Tata Motors. So the overall sentiment on the Nifty within individual counters is fairly strong. ICICI Bank and Axis Bank have started, sort of chirping on the green side as far as their individual charts are seen. So index looks fairly strong at 19,800. Provided there is no destabilizing result, you will see a nice breakout. My personal opinion is that there is a record high in the pipeline on the index. 19,800 and 20,000 are the trading zones, and beyond this will be decided by how the election results come out. So that's how I see the index at the moment, Sakshi, as far as the Nifty is concerned. Strong support at 19,800, a resistance at 20,000. This resistance at 20,000 is most likely to be taken out once the election data is there in front of us.
Right. Now let's move on to focusing our attention on Nifty Bank, which has finally started to show some signs of momentum. We did see on both Thursday and Friday, the Bank Nifty gained about 300 points over the last two trading sessions, that is. The index also managed to eke out weekly gains after being an underperformer compared to the Nifty this entire series. But 44,000, that continues to remain a pivotal point, Shail.
Yes, Sakshi, very well mentioned. 44,000 is a pivotal level as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned. And we've seen fairly bad days for the Bank Nifty over the last 2 or 3 sessions. In fact, for all of the last 1 week and a couple of sessions before that, sensible profit booking happening. But a very sharp run-up that was already in place since October 26th, if I remember my data right. We are about 2 percentage points higher on the Bank Nifty over the last 1 month, and that rally is now being digested. Unfortunately, the Bank Nifty is caught in a cleft. There is 200-day DMA supporting it on the lower side, and about a series of shorter DMAs which are trapping the index on its upward journey. But like I said, charts are fairly strong for ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. And the trading range as far as the Nifty is Bank Nifty is concerned is a very strong support on the options level at 43,500, and as you mentioned, 44,000 is where we see the most immediate resistance. So depending upon election results, a breakout is most likely above 44,000, and I'm fairly confident on the Nifty because a lot of moves are within individual sectors and individual stocks on the stronger side. But Bank Nifty, Sakshi, has been a pain point for quite a while. It's been an underperformer on an year-to-date basis relative to the Nifty. And of course, if you look at how mid-cap index, the mid-cap Nifty has outperformed, a 10% surge in the month of November on an index level. That shows how strong the trader community is when it comes to cash stocks, especially in the small cap and the mid cap space. Sakshi.
Right. Now, as far as the F&O space is concerned, Shail, how are you looking at the space? Any particular stocks that is on your focus list today?
Sakshi, there is a crisis of plenty when it comes to F&O. And you will recall that Friday was dedicated to insurance plays. We caught LIC at 638 in the morning show, and it went all the way up to 674. Strong moves coming into every PSU sector. LIC, NIACL and GRC Ray were exceptional stocks when it comes to trade on Friday. Very strong volume breakouts, 20% each on GIC and NIACL and about 10% on LIC. My own estimation is that LIC will continue to rally up. Friday was the first day of gains on LIC. Charts look fantastic. The other sectors that I feel will move are the railway space. They've been quiet for a while, and of course the energy space, within the PSU basket. So these are the kind of sectors that I'm looking at. Look at how BHEL moved up on Friday. Very, very strong volume, up 6%. So these are the stocks that are, as I have already mentioned, low ticket, high beta, and as Tanya says, chota packet, bada dhamaka. So that's how the structure is. The entire momentum, Sakshi, is concentrated only on the PSU basket.
Absolutely. So we'll keep an eye out on this entire basket even today. But let's also focus on how the global markets are giving us a cue. As far as the Indian markets are concerned, the US markets ended marginally lower overnight after posting a 4-week gaining streak on Friday. And we did see the Dow and the S&P 500 about 0.2% lower, while the Nasdaq fell about 0.1% in trade. However, when we see the S&P 500 up in November, it's up 9% already. So it's had a good November so far. The Nasdaq gained about 11% as well. So November has been great for US stocks. And the Asian markets opened mostly higher after Monday's drop across the region. And when we talk about the early action, it's pointing out to a mixed trade right now. When we talk about the Nikkei, for example, that's down by 0.3% right now. Kospi is up by 0.7% odd. The GIFT Nifty is indicating a mildly positive start as well. Now, as far as the flows are also concerned, of course, we did see the foreign institutional investors turn net buyers, buying shares worth 2625 odd crore rupees, while domestic institutional investors purchased about 134 odd crore rupees worth of stocks on November 24th as well. The other important data point will be the S&P Global Ratings, which has raised the India's FY24 GDP growth projection, but it has lowered it for FY25. So the markets will also be reacting to that number as well in today's trade. And of course, when we talk about the other point to be noted will be the macros as far as the oil prices are concerned ahead of the OPEC meet. So that will be something as another monitorable that one will have to keep an eye out on as well. But Shail, as far as the FII flows are concerned, are you fairly okay now as far as the FII flows are concerned? Are they looking positive now?
Sakshi, one good thing is that the level of sales momentum, net sales has tapered down. You remember we were looking at numbers of 4,000 crores, 3,000 crores, 2,000 crores on net sale basis on a fairly regular basis. Then they came down to 3 digits, and with the fall in the 10-year US bond yield, we are most likely to see a reversal of FII sales in the month of December, and they are likely to turn buyers. This is my own estimate given the weakness that you see in the US 10-year yield, and the fact that you mentioned that even markets on Wall Street, the main indices have jumped something like 8 to 10% in the previous 1 month or so. That basically means that profit that has been made there will now be circulated across the emerging market fraternity, chiefly India, because we are a relative island of relative safety when it comes to valuations, when it comes to prospects of shares surging up. So my understanding is that you'll see FII number turn positive for December at least, and the good part is that their selling is on the wane. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's also look at some of the stocks that one needs to really keep an eye out in today's trading session. A lot of stocks in news, starting with the auto major Maruti Suzuki. It's planning to hike prices of cars starting January 2024 across models. The price hikes would be on account of increased cost pressures driven by inflation and increased commodity pressures as well. So perhaps margins are there on an upside. So we will keep an eye out on that. Paytm is another share that you need to watch out for.
Sorry?
We got to know that Berkshire Hathaway Pathway has sold entire stake of 2.46% for 1369 odd crore rupees there.
What do I need
Remember, it had invested 2200 crore rupees in September of 2018 and it's ending with a loss as well. So Paytm shares could be in focus largely because of the block deal. Eicher Motors, that will be in focus because Royal Enfield is launching another all-new Himalayan for booking in India starting at 2.69 lakh rupees as well. The introductory price is valid till December of 31st. So that will be another stock to watch out for. HDFC Bank, that's appointed Harsh Kumar Bhanwala as an independent director of the bank for 3 years. That's an important stock to watch out for as well. Fortis will be in focus. It's planning to divest Fortis Malar Hospital, Chennai to MGM Healthcare for 128 crore rupees as well. Entire 62.7% stake will be divested in an all-cash deal, so the stock will be in focus again. Newton Software has approved 1:1 bonus issue and fixed January 12th of 2024 as the record date for the bonus issue as well. So the stock again will be in focus. Another stock with the similar news flow is Integra Essential, and that has approved a 1:1 bonus issue and a fundraise of 100 crore rupees via preferential allotment, QIP and FCCB, etc. PB Fintech is going to be in focus. It's going to be investing 350 crore rupees in Policy Bazaar in one or more tranches over the financial year FY25. Raymond will be in focus. Chairman and MD Gautam Singhania has written to employees and board amid the public spat with estranged wife. Says that it's business as usual at Raymond, and despite these tough times, steadfast to create shareholder value as well. So that's an assurance coming in from Raymond right there. So these are the particular stocks that are going to be in focus. Let's now bring in our guest into the conversation. Dharmesh Kant now joins in. He's head of equity research at Cholamandalam Securities. Dharmesh, very good morning to you and thank you so much for taking the time out. Your own sense of the overall markets and where are you turning bullish on right now?
Good morning, Sakshi. Good morning, Sanjeev. I think market has been quite well poised for this election outcome, which is likely to be the exit polls around 30th November. And the entire built-up in volatility is with that respect. Global market seems to be pretty settled because commodity prices, if you look at international commodity prices, they are quite in range mode kind of activities happening out there. With a slight uptick in demand in the industrial and base metals was seen last week. Other than that, I mean, QT has done its job and all the central bankers, the aspiration to rein in the inflation is already taken into account. Earnings have been very good, be it US or Indian market, both have been doing pretty well. Just a margin of safety point of view, I think the positioning has to be in defense, railway, and power stocks. So these are the three sectors which gives quite a good margin of safety going into the election outcome. And in this space, I think in the defense space, Hindustan Aeronautics, HAL, which I have been repeatedly recommending on your channel as well, is still a good value buy. Even if there is a slight correction, one should be looking into it. Order book is now 73,000 odd crores with recent order falling into the lap. At the same time, management has guided for 10 to 12% kind of a top line growth with 20 to 22% kind of an operating margin. So that offers well. ROE 27, 28 and forward PE multiple of 19, 20 is sweetly poised. I mean, it's the least expensive stock in the defense. So that is what we have been recommending our client to accumulate. And from the railway, RBNL looks pretty good. Though the valuations are fairly priced, but I don't think even if there is a change in the regime in the center in Lok Sabha election of 24, there won't be any major policy shift which can hamper defense and railway policy which has already been set in. So these are the two sectors which we are looking forward to. Overall, I think the flows will turn positive for India as well. And we have a lot of catch up to do. If you look at year-to-date performance, US, Japan, Seoul, Brazil, France, Germany, all have outperformed India. We are the lowest in that hierarchy as far as annualized performance on the index is concerned. And we are the ones who have delivered the most and the best earnings. So I think that catch up will be there post this thing is out of the way, that is the election outcome results. So fairly poised, and even if there is a correction post that, we will be buying into that, and the sectors are the same. It would be defense, railway, power to begin with.
Welcome. Take a very, very quick break. And on the other side of that break, we'll be discussing a whole host of stocks with Dharmesh ji, especially from the pharma and the auto space that have been doing excellently well over the last 1 week. We'll be back in a short while.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back on Market Today. We are in conversation with Mr. Dharmesh Kant. He's the head of equity research at Cholamandalam Securities. The two stocks that he mentioned as long-term picks for your portfolio, even at current levels, is Hindustan Aeronautics at a record high at the moment, as also Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. Let's get Dharmesh ji back into this conversation. Dharmesh ji, we had a fantastic run-up in a lot of pharma shares, both in the cash segment, the F&O segment, and of course amongst the nifty gainers. What according to you would be a great stock to look at the current level in the pharma space, in the mid cap and the large cap category?
Tell you, I mean, the pharma stock run-up was a surprise to me. I was not expecting the same. And the earnings was also a surprise from few of the select counters. Like Aurobindo Pharma came out with a very good set of numbers. And that kind of trajectory which Aurobindo Pharma or the Sun Pharma reported, I was not expecting that, to be very candid with you. Having said that, I think given this is just a 1 or 2 week more phenomena as far as stock price traction is concerned, since margin of safety looks to be a bit better here. Normally, ahead of an event, defensive or the utility stocks does tend to get attraction. My own sense is going forward, 15-17%, 15 to 17% kind of a top line or a bottom line growth would be a very good growth for all these pharma companies, considering the type of pricing cuts, whether it is domestic formulation prices or international prices. There's a price cut is still happening out there. At the same time, I mean, patented drugs which are there, they are still the time of 2 to 3 years for them to be off patent and available for India pharma companies. Still, having said that, I think Aurobindo Pharma and Sun Pharma, these are the two companies which can still be looked into for a buying opportunity from a trading play. However, the beta and alpha comes from stocks like Divi's and Dr. Reddy's, but I would be avoiding them for the recent juncture. So, I mean, if you want to still ride the rally ups on the upside, I think it's Aurobindo and Sun which merits are trading better for me. As far as investment is concerned, we have been advising our clients, if they have been invested into pharma stock, to take profit and move away from it.
Okay, let's for the moment look at long-term charts for Sun Pharma and Aurobindo Pharma. Like I said, we are at the moment sitting in one of the best bull markets that we've seen over the last 50-55 years in the Indian setup. And that means that a lot of stocks are already at record highs. Dharmesh ji has mentioned Sun Pharma as also Aurobindo Pharma. Both these counters are at record highs, but even from current levels, Dharmesh ji feels that you will have a nice upward move. Sun Pharma is up 15% over a 1 year period, and Aurobindo Pharma, hold your breath, has appreciated 121% over the last 1 year when it comes to price action. Dharmeshji, one thing that caught the fancy of traders, investors, as also a wide variety of market watchers was the very sharp run-up that you saw in government-owned insurers. What is happening in NICL, JIC Re, and of course now the big daddy of them all, LIC has started moving. Which according to you would be a better bet amongst these three, if at all?
Especially if you want to discount any, event-based play, I mean, some stake sale or liquidation or some strategic tie-up, if you are not looking into that and if we are just focusing ourselves on the businesses of these insurance companies, so there's still, I mean, 5 to 7% of the penetration of the market is only being done till now. So almost 85% kind of a penetration for these companies into the entire population of India is still the market size they are looking into it. Though they are getting a good competition from the private sector players, but the market size is so huge that still everybody will find their own share of the pie. So if you're looking at these companies from say 5 to 7 year perspective, and that is the right measurement or a yardstick to look at if you're investing into the insurance companies, these all are great value wise to me. You can pick a basket and go with all of them, and the value buying will emerge. Coming back to your moot point that it is the government-owned companies which have seen a greater traction. So I think there would be some, I mean, it can be source-based information or some event maybe setting out there. And the event can only be either a private tie-up or some divestment kind of an opportunity coming out from the government side. Other than that, I don't think there is any other event which can come into the play. And all these companies, the good part is even the government is now competing with private sectors as far as help of technology is concerned in selling the products to the end user. So that is where these companies are also getting traction, and they are cheaper if you compare them to their private sector players like SBI Life or ICICI Life, SDFC Life. So these are a cheaper player compared to them. Life insurance is here to stay. General insurance is also good, but life offers a better bargaining opportunity out there. So, as a basket buy from a long-term perspective, all these stocks are good to me.
Right. Dharmesh, I wanted to ask you on the auto space, they seem to be in top gear, especially Maruti, which has now announced a price hike start in January 2024. How are you looking at the auto basket?
Very good news. Because the demand flow and attraction, if you talk to dealers, they all are, buzzing with orders and new, client queries coming in. And I think Maruti did a phenomenal number in the month of October, and rightly so because both the festivities, Dussehra and Diwali build-up was there, and inventory, push of inventory to the dealers was more from the company, and so wholesale sales did a very good number out there. And the price hikes are coming at a point when there is no input prices being up. So input prices are still where they are. And operating leverage is also kicking in for most of these automobile companies. At the same time, they are able to take price hikes. This is a pure function of demand being in place. And let's not forget that even interest rates are quite high at this juncture. So in spite of all this, pressures of interest rate and great demand, they have been able to push up the price hike. So good for all these companies. And Maruti is anyways a topic on the four-wheeler passenger vehicle segment. And given the type of capacity expansion they have rolled out for the next 10 years, it's a buying opportunity at all levels. And there, even in the SUV space, they have got a very good traction in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's look at the opening action there in the pre-opening space as well. 19,839 currently 44 points higher as far as the Nifty is concerned. So the slight, positive opening that the GIFT Nifty was indicating is perhaps getting reflected in the pre-opening action as well. Reliance Industries is something that you need to watch out for. Looks like a very, very positive start over here when we look at 24.25 currently in the pre-opening space for Reliance Industries, and that's an uptick of almost 2% in the pre-opening action for Reliance Industries stock as well. 23.94 currently for this one. All right, Shail, do you have some prices?
Yes, Sakshi. Let's go with the mid-cap space. Like you had mentioned in your headlines, again, government PSUs in thick action. NIACL, after a 20% surge in Friday, it's up about 7% in pre-open trade, 224.90. Remember the Adani stocks we had to talk about, Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises in particular. Adani Enterprises up 5%, 2340. There was a clarity that was coming in from the Supreme Court, as also SEBI on Friday when the Hindenburg report was discussed in the top court. Again, Hindustan Aeronautics 5% higher, 2351. Remember, this is something that Dharmesh ji has suggested. And also remember, these are pre-open spaces. Also remember, these are record high levels. You have to be very, very careful when it comes to such stocks. Hindustan Aeronautics at about 2352. Then you have Bombay Stock Exchange 2228, 2.6% higher. Let's look at the FNO space for the moment. Let's look at the most active counters, and overall picture, Sakshi, seems to be towards the green side. Sri Ram Finance 2% higher, 1987. Infosys 1463, 1.8% higher. This is how markets are settling. 32 points higher on the Nifty, 19,827. Sakshi, you carry on.
Right, absolutely. A lot of prices that are ticking higher in trade. BSE is in focus. Jefferies has initiated a buy with a target of 2,700. So you can see a 2.5% kind of a move right there. And when we talk about the Nifty 500 basket, a lot of stocks that are moving now. General Insurance, for example, that's one of the top movers. 308 can be seen on this counter. Data Patterns, another stock that's now moving higher. 2010 kind of levels being seen for this one. From the PSU basket, again, we have BHEL that's ticking up right now, 152 at this point in time. Even we're looking at Bharat Electronics as one of the top movers, 147 odd or so being seen as a key level for this one. Coal India, Concord, these are the other stocks that are moving higher in trade in the opening levels. But as far as the Nifty is also concerned, like Shail was pointing out, pharma stocks are again going to be in focus today. Divis Laboratories again in focus, 3780 kind of levels being seen for this one again in trade right now. As far as the sectoral action is concerned, you do have the healthcare stocks that are also topping the charts right now in the pre-opening space. You also have the metal stocks, some of these that are moving higher. The Nifty Bank and the private banking space also slightly up in trade as well. So we are also looking at sectors that are moving up right now. I think there are few. So IT is down in trade, FMCG is slightly down in trade, but we're looking at healthcare, autos, banks at the top as far as the markets are concerned. Let's also look at some of the other metal counters that are moving up. So Hindalco is now trading at 511, up up about 1% in trade. JSW Steel, that's another stock that's up in trade right now. Then apart from JSW Steel, we also have some Adani stocks, like Shail was saying. Adani Ports is now ticking higher at 805 or levels or so. Let's also welcome another guest of ours. Brijesh Ale now joins in. He's the head of technical and derivatives at Retail Research, IDBI Capital Markets and Securities. Brijesh, very good morning to you. At the pre-opening level, what is catching your eye?
Yeah, hi, morning. So I think there are stocks like the defense stock is likely to be in focus. The stocks like HAL and Data Pattern is looking very good on charts. So I think that momentum will continue in today's session also. So bias would be positive. And roughly for the index also, I believe that another 50-60 points momentum is there. There is a range for the Nifty, 19,900 and 19,700. So that's the range for the Nifty. So it will be a more of a range bound trading session is what I believe at current level.
Okay, two stocks that you would like to recommend.
Yeah, as I said, I think one is the Jubilant Food. I think already for the last 3 days, the stock is moving up. There's a good rounding kind of structure in the Jubilant Food. So I think this momentum will continue. 565 is the target continuation of this trend for the Jubilant Food with a stop loss of 535. That should be one trading bet. Next one is the Hindustan Aeronautic, HAL. So again, I think it's given a very strong breakout. It's an uptrend kind of a scenario. 2350 is what I'm looking at in next 2 to 3 trading session. So that would be the second bet for the day.
Any particular top insurance stock that you'd like to recommend? All of them have been in momentum. Anything that tops your fancy at this point?
Maybe SBI Life is one counter which we were bullish for the. I think it's correcting down. It's coming to the support levels. 1390 is a very strong base for the SBI Life. So I think if we see that levels during the day, or maybe with that stop loss, I think we can take a buy setup for the SBI Life. For the short term, I think we should be heading 1500, somewhere close to 1500. So that's a directional view for the SBI Life. 1390 remains the base. So I think with that as a lower side support, one should take a long idea in SBI Life.
Brijesh, a very warm welcome to you on Market Today. You've of course mentioned Hindustan Aeronautics as one of your top picks, as also data patterns. Within the mid-cap space and the small-cap space, anything else that interests you on the long side?
Yes, sir. So I think basically this micro cap 250, I think there are stocks like persistence is something from the IT space is still looking positive. Then one Indian hotel is something which is giving a buy setup, so that can be kept on a watch list. And lastly, this Jinda stainless steel. That is one more bet which is coming from the Bitcoin. I think Jinda stainless steel from the metal space will be the one of the good pick at this level. So I think we need to keep a watch on those points.
Right. What we'll also do is just look at prices on the pre-open level once again. The Nifty settled 50 points higher. This is exactly in sync with what the GIFT Nifty was pointing out. 19,844 for you. 82 points higher on the Bank Nifty, a flat opening 43,851. Remember, we are in a truncated week. We are 2 days away from what has been a fantastic November FNO expiry. Let's look at what the heavyweights are saying. Apart from HDFC Bank, where there has been a fantastic amount of pre-open trades worth 250 crore rupees in space. Let's look at the other winners. Okay, Hindustan Unilever 25.31 up more than 0.5%. SBI and Tata Motors are up 0.5% each. Sakshi, what's really interesting is that if you look at the top index heavyweights, almost 9 out of 10 are in the green. Only ICICI and L&T are in the red, but they are just such minor losses. It doesn't have to be worried upon. Let's look at the top gainers in the FNO space. Adani Enterprises. I think this is something that we need to discuss, because when you look at the overall picture, Adani Enterprises really took it on the chin. Brijesh, coming to you, a strong gain on Friday and an equally strong pre-open 3.4% higher. What are Adani Enterprises charts telling you? 2301 for you.
Yeah, sir, I think the momentum, there's some kind of buying which is happening in Adani. I think in daily, it's a clear buy setup. This momentum should last in 2360, 2370 levels. So this today's opening can be also viewed as a buying opportunity. Momentum should continue. 2330 is this maybe the intraday resistance. So I think once 2330 is taken out, then another 30-40 points more upside will be there. This for the next 1 or 2 trading session. The bias is positive. I think we should take a buy trade in Adani Enterprises.
Okay, Sakshi, one thing I'd wanted to mention, when you look at how Adani Enterprises has performed over the last quarter, 3-4 months, Adani Enterprises is actually the worst performing Nifty stock, down 12.3%. Now, the move that has come in from the Supreme Court and SEBI on Friday will see most probably a lot of buying support coming up for Adani Enterprises in particular over today. And Adani Ports is also down 3.1% over the past 3 months. So this is the underperformance of these two stocks relative to the Nifty, which has fairly surged about 7-8%. This is something that we'll keep an eye out, especially on the 2300 Adani Enterprises call. Sakshi, what else are you watching?
Let's first also get Dharmesh's point of view as far as the Adani stocks are concerned, and then we'll move on. Dharmesh, all the stocks are up apart from Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports on the Nifty. We're also looking at Adani Energy, Adani Power, Adani Total Gas, all of them up in trade, Adani Green as well. Are you having any particular stocks that you are looking at positively from the Adani Group basket?
Sakshi, again, you are catching me today. As far as the Adani Group is concerned, officially we don't cover any of these stocks.
Okay.
I would only like to say one line comment here is legal clarity is always welcome. At the same time, one should be mindful of the fact the valuation multiple. So any stock, any company which you are buying, please be mindful of the valuation at which you are buying and the just whether it is justified as far as future earnings are concerned or not.
Okay.
Fair
Fine.
point. Yes, Sakshi, continue. I'd just like to add a part. I'd just like to
Yes,
add a line,
absolutely,
Sakshi. My
Shail. Please
apologies.
continue. Please continue.
Yeah, Dharmeshji's point is very well taken. One must exercise extreme caution when it comes to the kind of volatility we've seen for this particular group. We are merely commenting on how the technical charts look, but fundamentally as well, one needs to keep a very, very keen and cautious eye out on how the fundamentals of the group are in place. And remember, that was the first issue in the Hindenburg report, which of course has been for the moment kept aside. Let's see how these stocks pan out as far as today's stock price is concerned. But a very good note of caution coming in from Dharmeshji. Sakshi, over to you.
Right. Apart from this, Dharmesh, you were talking about a lot of railway stocks. RVNL was one of your top picks. We are also looking at IRCTC now coming up in trade. How are you looking at these other stocks from the railway pack? Anything that now looks positive after a gap of some time? Are they poised for another leg up?
Definitely, yes, Sakshi. I mean, if you look at the color of this market for the last 3, 4 weeks, what is happening is the margin of safety. When I say I don't say margin of safety from stock price kind of a perspective, we say it from the business perspective. So all those businesses where the revenue visibility, the profitability visibility with a decent growth rate is in place, and which is, I mean, more or less immune to economic cyclicality or the government changes. Those are the counters which are doing well, and that is where railway, defense, power and healthcare is playing out in a good way. Even insurance companies, which we have been speaking about in this today's show, are all government-owned companies where the visibility is very high. So coming back to the point in railways, I think there has been a good consolidation for 2, 3 months in most of the railway stocks, and RVNL, IRCON, these are the IRCTC. These all are again poised. So IRCTC is on the servicing part, but on the infra space and capital goods space, I think IRCON and RVNL looks very decent. IRCTC can be taken as a good 1 year, 2 year kind of a trade. So a small tweaking in concession fee can have the fortunes turn greatly in favor of IRCTC. All the verticals have been doing well, be it Rail Neer or the food and beverages segment where they have been offering tender and getting a price and the fee-based kind of income. So all these three stocks looks pretty attractive to me.
Right. Let's look at the opening trades on the index. The Nifty flat, 28 points higher, 19,823. The Bank Nifty again flat, 63 points higher, 43,827. The good part is that you have a green tick almost everywhere. It depends the size of the tick, but nevertheless a green one. NSE 500, the broader index, is up 0.3%, which is a very good sign, 17,690. Let's look at the index heavyweights. First and foremost, Reliance Industries down 0.25%, 2388. Infosys flat, 1436. And let's look at what HDFC Bank is doing, up 0.3% for 1536. Let's look at the other two corporate banks. Axis Bank in the green, 1012, 0.3% higher. ICICI Bank down 0.3%, 926.50. What's the top gainer within the index heavyweight space? That's at the moment State Bank of India, 0.5% higher, 562. In the green are the Bajaj Twins, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance, although not much to talk about. Let's shift focus to beyond index heavyweights into the FNO sector and look at the top gainers. Okay, HPCL is taking it away, 333. Weakness in crude oil prices is good news for OMC. Remember, the energy pack is also buzzing. 4% higher, 333.90. Its twin BPCL, 420.75, 2.5% higher. What else is clicking? Adani Enterprises, 22.97, 3% higher. Remember, we'll be focusing onto the 2300 call. How about Adani Ports, 1.5% higher, 808. Immediately, BSC 500. Let's look at stocks which are top gainers. It's Adani's day. Adani Total Gas 6% higher, 573. Adani Power 6% higher, 421. We have also the Adani Energy moving at 779, 6.7% higher. Adani Green, Adani Enterprises 3.5% higher. So the hearing in the Supreme Court over Friday is bringing good cheer when it comes to the Adani set. Okay, all-time highs today. Hindustan Aeronautics Angel 1, 2320 on HAL, up 3.7%, 2.4% higher on we have Angel 1, 3116. On the move is CSB Bank, 383, 1% higher. Bajaj Auto, Trent, and of course Lodha. We've discussed this. Let's just first go to Brijesh. Brijesh, Nifty 32 points higher, 19,827. Any trade you have in mind for Nifty, and anything else that catches your fancy on the long or the short side?
Right now, I think from the FNO space, sir, there is one India Cement is one counter which is coming into a buy trigger. So I think India Cement at a current price, I think it can be a buy setup for the price target of 235. With today's low itself as a stop loss, which is 221 in the FO segment. I think India Cement should be kept on a watch list. Nifty, I think there would not be much of a momentum. But I think we need to keep a watch on the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is looking good. Maybe the in the money call option 43,700 possibly can be one of the trade setup, or maybe 43,800. So that can be the trade setup for the Bank Nifty. I would like to take a positive view on the Bank Nifty instead of Nifty as of now.
Brijesh, let me take some other stocks with you. Let's look at the cement basket. Ultratech Cement, Grasim, India Cement, Ambuja Cements, all of them are ticking higher in the opening action. Especially Kesoram Industries is now up by 5% as well. We also have a brokerage house report of Citi, which is now bullishly looking at the entire cement space with its top picks as Ultratech, ACC, Ambuja, Dalmia, Nuvoco and Grasim. Your own thoughts on the entire space, and how would you be looking at the cement basket and any particular top stocks?
Yeah, as I said, specifically, we are bullish on the Ultratech and Grasim. These are the two. Ultratech is one of our pick, which we do maintain as a buy rating. Ultratech has been correcting for the last. It's a frontline counter. This 3-4 days correction is a good buying opportunity. I think Ultratech cement can be back to 8,900 levels. So definitely there is a buying opportunity in the Ultratech cement. And next comes the Grasim. So which is again positive for the day. Same like Ultratech cement, it is again corrected for the last 4 trading session. It is coming close to the support zone. I think 2000 plus target should be 2020. Basically, this would be the target for this Grasim for the next 2 to 3 days. And as I said, India Cement is one pack which is given a technical breakout. So I think I will go with these 3 counters. Ultratech and Grasim would be directionally for 3-4 days kind of a trade, and India Cement can be more of a day to 1 or 2 kind of a days trading session. So the view is positive for the cement.
Okay, one more stock I'll take with you, and from the Nifty 500 basket we have Bombay Stock Exchange now ticking higher by 4.2%, 2260 as the current level. Despite the smart move that we've seen on the stock in the last 6 months, how would you trade this stock now?
So Sakshi, today is again that is a gap up trade. So basically it's an uptrend kind of stock and it's a gap up. So I think let's play this. The immediate high which we see in a 2475 level. So definitely we'll talk for those points. It is more likely that level will be retested. So I think with today's low itself, I think we can take this buy trade setup in the BSE for the target of 2475, which was the previous high. So it's a buy setup.
Okay. Sakshi, let's just pay attention to the broader markets. At the moment, the advanced decline, the FNO is fairly strong, 125 futures in the green and about 62 in the red. So that's a 2:1 strong ratio favoring the bulls. In the broader market, as far as the National Stock Exchange is concerned, 1300 shares in the green, 570 in the red. Again, 2:1. In fact, 2.5:1, which means 5:2. Of the 19 indices that we track, 18 are in the green, and at the moment the Nifty Metals Index is 1% higher, 6937. Energy Index is up 0.8%, 28790, and it's the Adani Group that's taking it away. Very strong moves coming in on Ambuja Cement, Sakshi. Let's just pay attention to these stocks, at least as far as price action is concerned. And Sakshi, they're accompanied by a huge surge in volume. So we have Adani Wilmar. I think you need to take a fresh view on the technical charts of Adani Wilmar. Brijesh, by the time you open it, just have a look at Adani Wilmar, 5% higher, 332. Remember, this stock was beaten black and blue. Very high volumes. Already we have about 11,22,000 shares traded. What are Adani Wilmar's charts telling you at 332?
Yeah, I think, sir, this has given a small trading buy setup. It has moved above the 50-day moving average, and the averages are turning positive. And previously, during this mid of November, there was a good positive divergence in the RSI oscillator. This is basically a reversal kind of thing which we saw in Adani Wilmar, and that is exactly acting upon. So today, for the very first time, it has moved up the 50-day moving average. And whenever it moves above 50, there is a probability that it can go somewhere to 200 days. So the value for the 200-day moving average is 384. So I think this bet will long for another 50 points move from the current level. I think one has a position, can hold the position. Plus, somebody wants to take that 50 points trading bet, can initiate a long with today's low as a stop loss for the 380, 385 as the upside target.
Okay. Right. Let's take Dharmesh's view on the cement pack, especially ACC and Ambuja. How would you be really looking at these two stocks? And of course, we've seen a lot of other stocks like Ultratex, Grasim, all of them move up. Brijesh's top pick remains Ultratech. Any particular stock that you're more bullish on in the cement pack?
Definitely, Sakshi cement space is buzzing because of the investments have been high and the demand has been pretty good for volume. Uptake is also being there. The only thing is the pricing ability is not there for most of the cement companies because of the fact that a lot of capacity expansion is happening out there and more competition is coming into the play. So pricing ability won't be there, but the profits will remain so, and we have seen EBITDA per ton improve quite significantly in the quarter going by, and this quarter is expected to be the same because of the lower input prices. I think ACC and Ambuja does merit a buying opportunity now because these two companies did not participate in the last 3 to 4 months kind of a cement upswing as far as the stock prices are concerned. So a lot of value catch up is there to be played out in these two counters. So having said that, I think Ultratech remains the topic, no doubts there. But one can also, take into basket ACC and Ambuja if one is having a trading play on cement. Largely, I think it will be more of a range-bound kind of a movement for next couple of years. I don't see 20-25% kind of a price traction for cement sector as a whole on the stock prices of most of the companies. But ACC Ambuja does merit a catch-up rally.
Okay. Sakshi, with your permission, I'll mark the 2300 call on Adani Enterprises. Remember, this is the first thing that we had pointed out when stocks settled in pre-open trade. The PCR will fire this call for you for the month of November 30th. Now remember 2 points. It had started to move very sharply on Friday itself. At the moment at 62.35 in front of me, already up 20 rupees. So we have to be pretty careful with this one. But the fact is that very heavy momentum on the long side coming on Adani Enterprises. This call shut shop somewhere like 36-37 rupees in trade on Friday. And if you see the high for this particular call in the month of November, it's been in the vicinity of 209 or something. So from 209 it corrected all the way down to about 30-35, and it's a reversal trade in the making. Let's just get Brijesh's opinion on this one. Brijesh, complete freedom. What would you do to Adani 2300 call? Remember, we are also at the month end. Would you prefer the December one, or is November fine with you?
I think I would prefer the December one. I think momentum is there in the Adani space, and today, for the very first time, it has started moving. So I think this momentum should sustain. And if I look at the December option chain, basically there are a good amount of long medium 2500 call option. So I think this should rally. 2500 is what it looks like. The momentum can last till. So I think I would like to take that back towards the 2500 levels. So I would definitely hold on to this position.
Okay. December 28th, I think for 2300. Just let me get this number, and I hope the PCR will also fire it. Please, PCR, look at the Adani Enterprises 2300 call for the month of December. I'll tell you the closing date. Just a moment. I think it's 28th of December. Yes.
Yeah. 174 is
28th of December. Correct, sir. And by the time our friend Brijesh has pointed out, it's already moved 4 points in his favor. So this is a call that you can look at. Still overheated. Let it cool down a bit. But given the fact that he feels that the momentum on Adani Enterprises will go up to 2500, this is something in the option side that you can look at. Sakshi, what else are you watching?
Well, apart from this, the metals pack entirely is in our top buzz. The Nifty Metals Index is the top moving index. So, Dharmesh, your view on how are you looking at the entire metals basket? You know, stocks like NMDC, Hindalco, Hindustan Copper, Vedanta, Steel Authority and Nalco, they've all been, in momentum right now. But any particular stocks that you would like to hold for, say, long term, and you'd advise an entry at this point in time?
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge move as far as NMDC is concerned. But the beauty of most of the metal counters are they are still cheap. If you look at the classical or traditional valuation metrics, they are still around 50 to 30% discount to where they should be. So I think there's an upside there just on the valuation metrics. Having said that, the type of economic recovery which we are expecting not only in India but across the globe going forward into CY24 and 25. I think Hindalco is also poised to gain quite a bit because of his aluminum foray into the US market through Novelis and Aleris. So Hindalco, JSW Steel remains to be the top pick out there, which has JSW Steel for its foray into the Indian market. The steel sector, Hindalco for its diversified foray into copper and aluminum. Followed by maybe NMDC. NMDC has moved a lot, but still, a lot can still happen out there. Just from the valuation perspective, the type of demand we are seeing. So these three counters are the topic from the metal space. And as you rightly said, one should be looking forward to at least a year perspective when you're buying and holding on to metal stocks.
Okay. Dharmesh,
Okay.
I'd also like you to look at HAL and in the entire defense pack, and how would you be really looking at this space now? Of course, HAL shares are buzzing, almost 4% higher in trade, and it's now at 23.25. What would you really how would you look at this fresh move?
We were very constructive on the entire defense space, and the reason for picking out HAL was first is the turnaround in the company. So the operating efficiency and operating leverage is playing out. The entire management and the approach to the system has changed. Now, even if they hear about some orders being placed for Make in India kind of a thing, they are proactive and are ready to grab that opportunity. At the same time, the biggest comfort was the valuation. If you look at the, I mean, PE multiples or say data patterns or
पीसीआर अदानी
BEL.
पोर्ट्स का
So compared to that, HAL is still pretty cheap, almost 50% discount to BEL valuation metrics. So I think that catch up will continue, and thereafter it will be even playing field for all the defense companies.
In front of you, we are looking at the 820 call on Adani Ports for the month ended December 28. It's priced at about 39 rupees. I'm wondering if the PCR can show that one on air. Yes, that's the one. Coming to you, Brijesh, fairly strong swing move in the making on the normal cash counter of Adani Ports. Would you want to comment on this one? The December 28th Adani Ports 820 call.
Yes, sir. So I think the 820 call right now is trading close to 40 levels is what I can see. And if I see there is a good amount of long build up is seen in the 900 strike price. So there is definitely a momentum in the counter. This is again a December bet. So I think not to be very aggressive, but then in the money call option is a better pick with at current level. 830, 820, both looks good on chart from the derivatives point of view. There is a positions which has been added at those point. I think we can go with the 830 at current price. Right now it's 34. So I think, I would not be able to exactly tell how long we'll hold, but definitely till the time the stock doesn't scale 850 on the cash, I think we'll hold on. Once close to 850, 855 level, whatever the price we see in the call option, we'll book the profit is what I believe.
And for those who were with us 5 minutes ago, we had discussed the Adani Enterprises 2300 December 28 call at about 174. You'll be very pleasantly surprised with the price at the moment for that one. That's at 206 rupees. I'm just requesting the PCR to kindly show this one. Adani Enterprises 2300 December 28th call, which we had discussed at about 174. That's now at 206. So that's how, ladies and gentlemen, we trap options data fairly quickly when it comes to momentum trades. And as positionally, Brijesh mentions that he's looking at 2500 on Adani Enterprises. Be that as it may, but 14, 15, 20 rupees is how you quickly catch momentum in your favor, provided you have the wisdom and the foresight, as also a lot of technical software. So Adani Ports and other Adani Enterprises are doing extremely well on charts. And one thing I'd like to add here, Sakshi, what I'm just seeing is volume buzzers in the Nifty 50. That will show you that at this point of time, Sakshi, Adani Enterprises is up 5%, 2341. Already 1.5x volume is done. And remember, we are just at 935. Adani Ports, already 60% of volume of 5-day average, about 19 lakh shares is done. 3.2% higher at 821. So this is how, you gauge where trader interest is, where stocks have been squeezed over a longer length of time, and where the spring might surge up given the good news that's come in. So Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports are the two options trades that we caught really early as far as markets are concerned. And of course, the two stocks hitting all-time high, BSE and Hindustan Aeronautics. All of them were discussed in pre-open trades, and I'm sure some of you have got into this at the right time. Sakshi.
Right. Dharmesh, before let you go, just one quick word on how are you looking at this entire oil and gas basket. We are looking at sharp momentum being built in HPCL. It's up 3.5% today. BPCL, IOC, all the three oil marketing companies stocks are moving up. How would you look at the entire oil and gas space now?
So it's a inverse proxy play to the oil. As long as the crude oil prices are benign, these stocks will continue to gain momentum. And the reason being, the retail prices of both oil, petrol and diesel is where it is. And any low crude oil prices benefits them greatly. So that is where the maximum bulk of the profits is coming to them. We have seen the Q2 earnings that was great for both HPCL and BPCL, Oil India as well. So continue holding it, continue riding the momentum, and just keep your stop losses in place as far as the upside ride of these companies are concerned. So these are more of a trading and cyclical plays.
Fair enough. Right. Thanks a lot then, Dharmesh, for being with us on this show and discussing all these insights and various stocks that we've discussed today. Brijesh, I'll take the same question with you. Any particular trade you will now track after the momentum in the oil and gas space?
Yes, actually, I think HPCL is one bet which is witnessing the momentum. So I think we should take a positive bet. It's already up by 3.5%. That momentum is there in HPCL. I think this move should be towards the 350, 355 levels. Again, there is a trade setup from the intraday point of view. I think the maximum correction for the HPCL can be 321. So with the stop loss of 321, I would be betting for 350, 355 on the higher side. It's a trading bet for 1 or 2 trading session. It looks good on chart.
Okay, just I'll take one more stock before I hand over to Shail to discuss more stocks with you. NetWeb Technologies, please look at this stock. There's news flow that the company is now collaborating with NVIDIA to unlock potential of AI, and the stock is up already 6.5% today. How do you really look at NetWeb Technologies? Of course, this is a new theme that everybody is really looking forward to as to how it will scale up over the next few years, and which are the companies that are clearly going to be working as far as AI is concerned. So apart from the top tech blue chip companies, the smaller ones that are now participating right here. NetWeb, how would you look at this stock?
It's a net worth, right?
NetWeb Technologies, 868. It's currently 7% higher now.
Yeah, what's it?
All right, till the time you open your stock chart, let me just tell all the investors right here, the stock has been in an upward trend in the last 1 month. 14% of a move is what we've already seen in the last 1 month alone, although in the last 6 months or so, it has underperformed, by the markets as well, 4.6% down in trade, but the last 1 month momentum has really picked up pace. How would you look at NetWeb now?
Yeah, I think it is looking positive on charts. I'll just get you the exact level. 1 second. NetWeb, it's currently at, I think this is going to some momentum. I'm not extremely bullish, but then I think 888, 900 is the bet which we can play for at the current price. Maybe the last week, which was close to 111, was the swing low. With that, somebody wants a directional view can play with this. But I don't see a trading opportunity. But then somebody's having a position may hold on till towards the 900 level.
Okay.
Sakshi, lots of interest on the futures side. The two top traded counters as far as stock futures are concerned are no surprise. Adani Ports 20,000 contracts already traded, and Adani Enterprises 13,423 contracts already in the bag as far as volume is concerned. The other thing I wanted to watch was the rankings in terms of strength, which we can discuss with Brijesh. MCX. Again, I refrain from mentioning this as a technical view because the stock has already accelerated very, very sharply. But 3056 in front of you, record high again. Just a check, Brijesh, from you on MCX. Remember, BSC on fire. MCX has moved from 1560, Sakshi, at the end of July to 3061. Brijesh, what are the charts telling you?
Sir, again, this is a uptrend stock. It is moving in a hand of high bottom structure. The trend is positive, and for today, in today's session, the stock is up by 4%. So what we are seeing today is again a range breakout of the previous 7 trading session, and that particular range is 2800
Yes.
to 29, and it's a 100 points points range. So I think this momentum will last for another 100, 150 points on the higher side. 3064 is already the day's high, and if I do look at the pivotal point, 3100 is the resistance 4 R4 level. So I think this momentum should rally towards the R4, which is 3100, somewhere close to those level. Fresh buying, I don't know how we make an entry, but somebody is having a position will should wait for 3100 on the charts.
Okay. The other stock in the FNO space I wanted to check is Manappuram, Sakshi. What's good about Manappuram is that it's a 14% rise in open interest volume, and it's accompanied by a dip in prices. So if you see the daily chart, it's down say 4-5 days in a row, and a beautiful swing trade in the making. Brijesh, what is Manappuram Finance telling you?
Sir, Manappuram, directionally it is positive. If you remember, sir, after the results, it had a very good gap up opening, and very after that, it made a high of 162. The low for that particular candle was 149, and now almost the prices are back to these support levels at 151 in the future chart. So I think the risk reward ratio is very favorable at this point. Maybe a 5-6 point further risk. With the stop loss of 145, I think we should be taking a buy setup. I think I would be happy to take the trade setup in the month of December, as I have a positional view. I think 160, 65 plus will be seen in this counter. Therefore, it's a 6,000 lot size. So slightly on a cautious note, somebody who don't want to take a FO position can take a view on the cash price also. I think it has come to the support level. 5 to 6 points stop loss from the current point. One should bet for 165 plus is what I have a view.
Okay. Brijesh, let's look at the auto stocks, especially let's talk about Hero Motor first. It's right now trading with a sharp momentum. Now at 36.06 currently. Of course, the stock has been in momentum in the last 6 months. 30% kind of a move has already been seen on the stock. It's right now trading at 52-week high levels as well. How would you be looking at Hero Moto at this point in time? 36.06.
Sakshi, directionally, from the monthly point of view, definitely it is a very strong positive bet. But from the trading opportunity, I think it's slightly the overbought zone. It's too difficult to say how long it would go. I think there won't be a fresh trade setup. I would prefer to take the slight profit booking in the counter at current price, because I believe there can be a small correction. Maybe whatever the rally we saw, the correction of that rally, there is probably a possibility that it might come to 3,500, maybe somewhere close to those points. So I would advise profit booking, and whenever it comes to 35, 34.50, we'll re-enter, because I believe directionally it is a very good, strong bullish outlook.
Fair enough. Well, thanks a lot, Brijesh, then for being with us and discussing all of these stock ideas. We'll take a very, very short break right now, but when we return, we will be focusing on our corporate radar section, and the company on our list focuses Shalby Hospitals. Company's top management will be with us to discuss more on business insights and the outlook going forward. Stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You are watching Business Today television and this is Market Today. I'm Sakshi and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Time for our corporate radar section and for our corporate chat today. We have with us the top management of Shalby Hospitals. Shanay Shah now joins in. He's the president of Shalby Hospitals. Good morning and welcome to Business Today television. Shanay, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Before we discuss more about, how you have performed in Q2 and what are your guidance as far as the top line and bottom line is concerned, talk to us about what is the trend as far as the occupancy levels are concerned and what is your average revenue per bed right now, per occupied bed right now, and what is the outlook there?
Morning, and thank you for having me. In fact, in terms of the growth momentum that we are seeing in the current year, with the Q1, Q2 results already out, we are seeing a 20% kind of top line growth on a year-on-year basis, both the quarters. So we are quite confident that this kind of run rate should continue. And in fact, we have a very strong pipeline going forward in terms of the capacity growing with all the franchisees coming in, as well as the recent news has been that we have kind of applied for the charity commissioner's permission in Mumbai. So once we get the permission in over 2 or 3 months, in about 2 years from then, we should be able to commence our Mumbai facility. So, everything is on track. The pipeline is strong, and this kind of growth momentum can continue for the next 3 to 5 years is what we believe.
Okay, what I did not catch your average revenue per occupied bed. What is the trend there and what is the outlook?
Sure. The average revenue per occupied bed is now between 35 to 38,000 rupees, depending on the quarter. About 5 years back, we used to be at about 30,000. So, overall, as the mix has, kind of evolved over the years, we are seeing that, the average revenue per occupied bed is also growing at between 5 and 10%, per annum.
Okay. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Shah. I just wanted to understand the geographical growth. At the moment, you have about 15 hospitals across 12 Indian cities. What would be the pipeline in terms of either opening new hospitals across India or buying existing ones to reduce time to market?
Sure, that's right. In fact, we are operating 15 hospitals in 12 cities in 6 states at the moment. And, the group has shortlisted, the Delhi and Calcutta as the next phase of growth besides. So we are kind of looking at opportunities in terms of multi-speciality hospitals. And we feel it's a good time for us, to kind of take up a new greenfield or an acquisition, because as we speak today, we are already over 20% kind of ROC levels in the hospitals business. So we believe it's a good opportunity for us at this point of time to look at an acquisition in either Delhi or Calcutta, which is plug and play.
Okay, I understand that. Let's just drill down a little further in your earnings. And this is a bit of a question that I hesitate to ask, but nevertheless I will. Profit is up 50%, EBITDA is up 42%, and margin has actually shot up by 400 basis points to about 22.2%. Mr. Shah, is it because of volume growth that you are attracting more and more patients towards yourself? Or is this, God forbid, just price rise, that the number of patients are the same, but each patient is giving you more money? This is a very touchy topic when it comes to, patient costs, but I'm sure your shareholders are happy.
Well, I think Mr. Bhatnagar, I think it's a good question, but the way we are looking at, the quarter one and quarter two, the results are out, and the volume growth has been between 15 to 18%, and average revenue per patient growth has been about 3 to 6%, which is in line with inflation in India. So, as such, if you ask me, it is primarily driven by volume growth as we see it, and we are confident that that is exactly how it will continue to kind of pan out for us over the next few years.
Okay. Shall I wanted to ask you any specialty segments are you looking to add on right now to expand further into your multi-specialty offerings that you do?
Yeah. So as such, we are a multi-speciality hospital. We do all high-end tertiary quaternary care work that happens in any top-tier multi-speciality hospital that we know of in the country or otherwise. And in fact, our key specialties that we've shortlisted that will grow heavily and be investing heavily over the next few years would be orthopedics, because we are globally, kind of the number one player in orthopedics, and also we'll be focusing on cardiology, neurology, oncology, and transplants and other high-end work. So these will continue. These 4 or 5 specialties will continue to be the top focus for the group.
Okay. Shalby had also talked about, a long-term revenue growth target of, say, $100 million over the next 5 to 6 years. But I want to ask you to break it up, say what will happen in FY24, what will happen in FY25 as well, to give the, short to medium-term investors a better understanding of how are you looking at your revenue growth.
So look, for first of all, I think it would be important to break it up into the different business verticals that we have. So of course, the hospitals business is already at $100 million business, and we expect this to grow. We expect this to grow at 20% going forward. And as I said earlier, we have the capacity which is already built to kind of give us that kind of growth going forward. For the implant business, we have set a kind of target of $100 million over the next 5 to 6 years. The immediate target, for that for FY25 would be to get to about $20 million there. In FY23, we did about 100 crores of business, about 90 crores of business, and we've tripled the business from FY22. So we have that momentum in place. We are confident of achieving those targets going forward. So I think overall, this is how we see it.
Sure. Right.
Fair point, sir. Let's look at how the expansion is. You've also mentioned that there are perhaps some chains or some standalone entities that you are looking at in Delhi as well as Calcutta. In the existing setup of hospitals that you have, are you planning to add fresh number of beds or maybe some new specialties?
Sure. So, that is exactly what is going on at the moment, because, as the occupancy growth, as we were talking earlier, that the volume growth is between 15 to 18% depending on the quarter. And we already have a bed capacity of 2,000 beds as we speak, and our operational beds are close to 1,200. We have the potential to kind of increase the bed capacity from the 1,200 to 2,000 with very minimal capex. So we are looking at a capex of around 15 crores only to kind of increase the bed capacity from 1,200 to 2,000. So, that is something that will, kind of happen over the next 3 to 5 years as the volume growth happens and, we see a higher occupancy. And besides that, we just spoke about some of the organic as well as inorganic opportunities that the company keeps evaluating. In our case, it will be Delhi and Calcutta, to start.
Mr. Shah, mathematically, if you see, when you look at adding a fresh bed to an existing facility, how much does it cost? So 15 crores is what you're trying to spend to increase beds from 1,200 to 2,000. So that's 800 beds at the cost of 15 crores. Am I right? Isn't this number too less?
You're right. In our case, all the construction work, interior work, most of it has been done, and which is why we are seeing an incremental, kind of investment of only 15 crores. Otherwise, the cities where we are present, we are looking at investments of not less than 1 to 1.5 crores a bed. If you're building something from scratch and building something, at the scale of 200 to 300 beds. As I said, in our case, the investment's already done, the project risk is behind us. And it's just that we need to kind of, as we see the ramp up of the hospitals in terms of volumes, we'll continuously, kind of add beds. And what happens is that, all these additional 800 beds that I'm talking about, these kind of flows will now start. We'll have to start manning the flows with the paramedical staff, nurses, etc. So that will be another investment that we'll have to do as we see the volume growth, kind of go up.
Right. Shanay, talk to us about, your cash on the books right now, your current debt levels. And since you're now talking about keen interest on both organic and inorganic opportunities going forward, would you be also requiring to raise any fresh cash?
Well, on the net cash, we are as a company, we are net cash at the moment. We are sitting on about 50 crores of net cash. And based on the balance sheet, the lenders and bankers are happy to kind of take an exposure of up to 600 to 800 crores on our balance sheet as we speak.
All right. Well, on that note, Shanay, let me thank you and for being with us and sharing all these insights with us. And as we draw close to our special edition today, let's focus back on the markets to find out where exactly the momentum is building on. 23 points higher on the Nifty right now, 19,818 currently. Of course, like we discussed all the way through our discussion from in this market session, Adani stocks topping the charts, Adani Enterprises top of the charts as far as the Nifty is concerned, 5.9% higher in trade. Adani Ports 3.3% higher in trade. Of course, from the Nifty 500 space, we have Adani Wilmar, that's up by 4.9% up in trade as well. Apart from this, we have ACC and Ambuja that are moving up in trade as well. So these are the particular stocks that are moving higher as far as the Adani basket is concerned. The Adani Power also now up by 6.7%. So the Adani Group stocks are all taking it away as far as the market momentum is concerned. Other gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned, you do have some stocks from the auto basket that are moving in the top gear. Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors. We also have stocks like Ultratech Cement from the cement basket, Hindalco from the metal space, Titan and Dr. Reddy's as some of the other top movers. Sectorally speaking, oil and gas, metals, small caps and autos at the top of the charts right now. Again, any particular sector that's now down in the red, it's IT and FMCG, like earlier pointed out, that are slightly sluggish in trade. But from the F&O space, MCX, as Shail had pointed out earlier, now moving up higher in double digits, 11% almost up in the F&O space. Again, you have Adani Enterprises, HPCL, some of the stocks that are moving up in trade right now. So looking like a decent set of session. We'll have to see if the markets hold on to these gains and further build up as we progress in the day's trade. Many thanks, Shail, then for being with us on the show, and thanks to all our viewers as well for joining in onto this special edition. But do stay tuned as a lot of action follows on your screens right after this show as well.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.